Empire Tabletop!
Welcome everyone to Empire Tabletop, the next session. I can't remember now. Today...
7?
Yes.
It's all drunken haze from here, man.
Yeah. This session is the beginning of the trilogy that I like to call Soup Day.
Oh, yes. Soup Zone! Soup Day 1, the Soup
Mama Giuseppe, what?
Much of the day was spent planning, as you should when you're an evil organization.
Soup a la death.
Now,
It's so good it'll kill you.
yep.
It's a killer.
So yeah, a lot of the time was spent, looking over the map because you found it from the dwarves. Oh yeah, you also killed all the dwarves. I forgot about that part.
Oh yeah.
You guys murdered all the dwarves in their sleep and left them there. You also had the map that they had, which Owen spent a lot of time studying to make sure that everything was good.
I made copies.
You even disguised yourselves as guards and infiltrated the castle to look around and see what was going on. One of the major things that you found was the scalding hot sand trap, which is in the gatehouse on the far end of the Farhold. Basically, what happens is they have like a furnace going that's got hot ass sand in it, and if anyone were to try to bust through, they would dump sand on you and burn you horribly. So that was a good thing to know.
To death.
Because the bugbears wouldn't appreciate that, I don't think.
Nope.
Might be a nice bath. They have fire resistance.
Now, I believe it was Kyra and Kage.
Kyra-
After all was said and done.
The how we planned it out was we would first basically go over to Grandma Giuseppe's, entertain her for a bit to ensure that the recipe was complete, and then horribly murder her.
Was the captain thing before this or after?
The Varning thing?
No.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
This was,
we-
right. That was
happened.
first thing, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
This is actually quite an important part.
yeah.
You see, what happened was... Sorry, yeah, I know. There was adultery happening, and Aki decided to expose it. Between one captain...
Oh, is this
one
the
captain's...
session?
Yes, between one captain's
There's
wife
a lot
and another
on
captain.
Soup Day 1.
Yeah, Soup Day 1 was a full day.
The soupening. The soupening.
You guys... Aki basically spent his time as Little Timmy, picking flowers outside of Captain Ederly's...
Mott's.
Captain Mott's manor.
Yeah.
To see when Captain Ederly would show up to do the sex thing.
Yeah. Well,
With
no, I didn't
Captain
know what was
Mott's
gonna
wife.
happen. I just, they're gonna show up. They're gonna do adult shit, whatever adults do. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, your character is kind of naive.
Retarded.
Naive.
Oh. Yeah, that's a nicer
Asmar.
word. That's a nicer word. Yeah. Naive.
So they, Captain Varning, or no, fuck, I keep getting them mixed
So
up.
Captain Ederly.
Captain
showed up.
Ederly showed up.
And Mott. Yeah.
No, not Mott.
Not Mott, they're not having sex.
Not
Oh, right.
That's the whole problem.
Mrs.
Remember?
Mott was the one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I should have guessed a natural.
Ederly showed up,
Would've been a
went into the
threesome.
manor.
Would've been happy.
You waited until evening when the servants weren't around. Then you went inside, I believe disguised as a servant.
Yes, the gardener.
The gardener, yes.
Under the cries, oh, I forgot something.
And you scoped out the first floor of their manor, and there was nothing there. And then you went up to the second floor, and you heard something. So you went up to one of the doors, and you heard...
Feelings.
Well, keep in mind, she hid in the closet.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
that was after.
Yeah, actually, was it...
What happened was I went up to the door and they were talking about their fucking feelings, and I heard
Yeah.
like little pieces moving around. So we
Chest.
deduced that they were.
No,
playing...
that was after the hiding in the closet.
Yeah, you were in the
So
closet
basically-
and played chess for
They were
fucking
talking
3
for a
hours.
little while.
They talked for like fucking hours about
And-
how they loved each other.
They went for food, I think, or something.
Yeah,
went
one
to
of them
get
went to get wine, and they both left. So you had your chance to slip in, and you hid in the closet.
My first goal was to search for shit. Okay, the closet was I didn't find anything, so shit, I gotta stick around.
Yeah, you had to hide. They came back. They didn't notice because you were inside the closet. And then they talked about their feelings for like 2 hours.
Yeah, then it turned into a fucking Twilight movie where they sat and played chess, drank wine, and talked about their feelings. Oh, you're the one I've ever loved. Sex.
Oh, Ederly!
And you sat there and watched it.
No, I didn't watch it. I heard it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god. Oh, Asmodeus. Oh, strike them down now, please. Oh, Cthulhu, save me.
Whatever
There's
dirt
a
god
gentle-
there is.
There's a gentle rapping at the church door. Can I tell you about our Lord and Savior Cthulhu?
And then finally, they got down and dirty. And I rolled for it to see how good it was.
It was unexceptional.
It was slightly below average. I believe I rolled a 9.
Oh,
He was having an off day. He had whiskey dick.
Largely adequate.
It was, of course, boring, good aligned sex, which is to say missionary position the whole way. Under the covers, probably partially clothed still.
oh.
No lights on.
Well,
No lights on.
Partially
Yeah,
clothed can be kind
The
of
no
They-
lights on was
They
important
took a
because I
sheet,
used
cut a
that
hole in
shit
it,
to
and
sneak
put it
out.
between them. Did it like Catholics.
He basically said there were no lights on. They turned off the lights, and I was like, "Fucking yes, I'm getting out."
And you got the fuck out of there. And you also learned when they were
No,
gonna
no,
do
I
it
got the
again.
fuck out, and then I had to wait outside the door and listen to them finish,
Yep.
so he could be like, "Oh, I've been so worried. When will you come back next? I'm just so frightened these days. Oh no, it's okay. I'll come back tomorrow at the same time." And I was just like, "Fucking finally! I waited 8 hours for this bullshit. That's all I wanted." And
Yeah.
Says the 12-year-old boy.
And then the next morning, first thing, you
I fucking sent off the most beautifully written letter in clear print.
Your wife's a cheating bitch!
Your wife has been unfaithful. If you wish to catch evidence or have evidence of this, come to your house at this time.
I'm a duel a bitch!
And I sent that shit off.
and Captain Mott did just that.
And duel a bitch!
And don't forget when you told the rest of us what you saw and our reaction.
I fucking jogged all the way back home after
Yeah.
curfew, dying because I've got like a 10 strength, and what's my con? It's at 12. Jesus Christ. And then I come back in, huffing puffing. I look at you and be like, so I listened to 2 adulterers talk about their feelings for 6 fucking hours.
I was like, where are we? People can talk that long without dying?
And then they
or
did something
sexing?
under the covers, and I'm not sure what, but it didn't sound good.
I was like, hmm.
Yeah.
So I just spent the whole time sitting in front of the fireplace, glaring angrily at it with a glass of scotch, going, 6 hours.
Uncle Bob does not approve of
Foreplay
of
does not involve talking or 6 hours!
Foreplay is half a second of tearing your pants off,
If that.
according to the orcs.
And then listening to your opponent beg for mercy before you rape them.
Ugh.
And the lamentations of their women.
Okay, Conan, brother the Barbarian.
Thank you.
What? Their,
Conan,
It
They're
the
is
wasted
lasted life.
Lamentations.
their women are lamenting as you're raping him?
Yes.
Yes!
Anyway, so that would have been
That's
the
the
first day,
orcish
and
way.
then
I
the
mean,
Mama
that's fine.
Giuseppe thing would have happened either the next day, I think.
Yeah,
On the final day.
yes,
The
on-
soup day.
Okay,
on
so-
soup day.
The morning after I sent out the fucking letter, Captain Mott was all like, "My bitch be cheating on me."
Yep, and they showed up and they yelled at Captain Mott showed up as the adultery was happening again. And they started yelling at each other, which Aki
For
was there
6
for.
hours.
Yeah, I listened to
They
that. and I
still
was
don't
like,
know what their feelings.
they're gonna kill each other. They're gonna kill each other.
Yeah, they actually started yelling about like, oh, you're never there for her, and basically it was more feelings. Until
I felt so fucking pissed. I'm like,
until
Yeah.
finally you heard the telltale sound of a glove slapping a face. A duel was to commence the next morning.
"Do it, you fucking asshole."
That's not how good aligned
Yep.
people do
I
things.
know.
Then you
Or
told to me
lawful.
This
and
is
I was
why
even
we're playing
angrier.
medieval campaign. So I don't have to
Whole
do this
bottle of
shit.
scotch this time. It's like,
24 hours!
So the next morning, the duel happened, which you were there for.
and I
was
went,
also there for
and
it.
I
You
went
wanted to get
with
some
you.
payoff.
Yes, Uncle Bob went with me.
Yep.
Uncle Bob took little Tim to see the duel of death.
Mott got his dick.
I have to see
Yes.
how these good pussies fight.
Captain Mott was killed in self-defense by Captain Ederly. And then Captain Ederly was arrested and
And-
tried for dueling to the death.
and
Which, as you
executed.
guys know, is punishable by execution!
Yay! So then I discreetly gave Haki a low five. It's like, here you go, little man.
Like, finally. Yeah.
So that's 2 captains with 1 stone.
3.
That's why Aki's the best member
One
of our
letter.
party. Until a few sessions later, which we'll get into later.
By the way, this entire party as a whole so far owes me 2 cookies. One from you and one from Kira's character.
That's right, I did say, hey, I was going to give you a cookie.
There.
You're gonna give me a cookie for this.
Wait, no.
Wait,
Try
no,
again.
no, okay?
Boom.
Like,
I am your vessel.
Will that not explode, Garrett, in the center?
Are you a large Garrett glider? That was bad.
Yes.
So, soup day. Kage and Kyra showed up.
Yes.
And as he said, waited for her to finish making her soup perfectly.
we almost fell asleep while she told us, Granny old tales about her sons. That will probably have to kill
I'm
later.
gonna talk about my feelings for 6 hours.
Oh.
And then Kyra not only killed her, but totally disemboweled her.
Yep.
And you guys had to clean up the mess, throw her in bed.
Yeah.
And,
Clean up the mess, and I became her.
and then you became her. And
Now
you
I
had,
am her.
and a guard showed up to wheel the soup up.
Oh, thank
We don't
you.
murder her, just
So you made your way up, clean,
Yeah.
and you got into the
Whatever
castle.
happened to the good old days?
I know.
And the soup day happened. So one of the servants was like, spooning soup up and like giving it to everybody.
I'm going to go to the latrine. I'll be back.
So
I'm gonna murder
Cage left.
everyone.
waited for
This is
waited for
I
redundant.
can
the
use the bathroom.
waited for the retching sounds to start, and then turned into a bat and flew away.
Whoosh!
And he hung out outside the castle long enough to
Hung out.
see, I believe, 37 guards.
Yup.
Like 27 of them were taken out in stretchers, and 10 of them were taken out in
Body
bags. So that was a very good roll because it was like
They had seconds.
So fucking good! Oh!
It's killing your intestines. I don't care.
it was like 4d10 people get sick and 1d10 get dead. So I actually rolled a 10 on the d10 for how many died. So that was a very good soup day.
Yeah, we pretty much murdered half their force.
Not for the people actually eating this.
But
soup.
No, it was-
but that was the beginning of the soup day. We
Is
went
this-
back.
And is this still part 1 of the Soup Day trilogy?
It is,
Yes.
because then evening came around,
And we
that's
killed
when you infiltrated the castle.
Well, we first killed the dwarves.
Yes.
By
Wasn't there
silence
some CR going on?
We had decided to break up into 2 groups. We had a stealth team that was going to dress up as the actual guards, made up of Kage, Kyra, and Mike. And then we were actually going to have a strike team,
Dudes.
which was just going to go straight to Havlin's room and murder the shit out of him so that he would be no threat during
That
the
sounds
actual
like me.
invasion, which was Garrett, myself, and Aki.
I wasn't the leader, but I was the master.
Our stealth team did a fantastic job sneaking in, getting to the storeroom, and rolling out the barrels of the oil, propping them in front of the rooms and waiting for the signal. And right after they were done doing
You look
that,
so pleased,
we
actually.
got up to Havlin's room, said, "Oh yeah, there's some more sick guys. We gotta talk to the Havlin guy." And right as the guys were gonna go into his room, we did our usual silence, murder, death, kill,
Yeah.
the good shit.
Murder, death, kill.
So then we went inside and we were all going, "Yeah, blunts gazing," or guns blazing, not blunts gazing. And
Blunts gazing.
And if we had guns, they would be blazing.
they would be blazing.
But
But as soon as
so
we
we went with hammers blazing.
bust open the door and there's Father Donegan chatting it up with an acolyte. And
Yeah, I believe
Shit,
Father
darn
Donegan
near
said,
killed
bless her. I practically consecrated her.
I was
And
like,
they were
"You
having a good
bastard,
laugh.
that's my joke.
Yeah.
And you did it wrong, so that's why I murdered him.
Yeah, and then it just turned out into an all-out brawl, and we caught Havlin off guard.
Yep, Havlin had his shield and his sword, and that's about it. And he still knocked you down to 1 HP.
Yeah, 1. Yeah, but the big thing,
Because you're an evil outsider, and Smite Evil does twice the damage to people.
our good old Orcish Barbarian murdered the shit out of the cleric,
Oh, yeah.
and I am now Ashura Havlin Slayer.
That's true.
I
You
murdered
slayed
the fuck out of that paladin,
You slayed
Yeah.
Havlin.
and I stole his book, and
You
you
stole
stole
his
his
book.
head.
Also, I do.
Second.
Also, before we begin, I do want to point out that before they threw up the cone of silence, I was able to say to the bad guys, to the good guys, "Look out, the Forsaken are here!" And then I started murdering them.
And then quiet.
Yeah.
Hold it!
Look out, the
All in all,
what?
a fantastic session. Many
Yes.
points were scored
Mm-hmm.
towards the victory.
My favorite moment was killing a guard with a snowball and then shutting the door.
Yeah. Bitch.
Clunk. All right.
My favorite
And,
guy was killing the clerk who dared ask me a question when he knew I had a bad bluff check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Asshole.
How's the tea now, motherfucker?
What? You?
And that's the session. Thank you very much for joining us. Empire Tabletop out.